Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something really quite interesting. It's about these AIs we hear so much about, large language models, LLMs.
Yeah, the big ones.
But we're asking, how well do they actually, get the physical world? Like stuff around us.
Exactly. I mean, they're credible with words, right? Processing language, generating text. But physics, gravity, how things actually work.
That feels like a different ballgame.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's becoming super important as these models get more involved in things beyond just text.
Which brings us to this paper we're diving into. It's from Alpha Collective called PHYBench, Holistic Evaluation of Physical Perception and Reasoning in Large Language Models.
Quite a title.
Yeah, but it tells you what it's about. PHYBench sounds like a benchmark for physics, and it's about testing perception and reasoning.
That's the core idea, PHYBench. It's presented as this new benchmark tool because, while we know LLMs are good at language tasks.
We kind of assumed the physics part, or maybe just didn't have a good way to test it.
Sort of, yeah. It wasn't systematically evaluated in this sort of comprehensive way before. This paper argues we need a specific tool, this PHYBench, to really measure it properly.
Okay, but why? Why does a language model need to be good at physics? Is it just for, academic curiosity?
Oh, definitely not just curiosity. Think practical. Imagine an AI helping design something or maybe controlling a robot arm.
Ah, okay.
It has to understand things like balance, force, how materials bend or break.
Right, you can't just have it guessing based on text patterns. It needs some grounding.
Exactly. Grounding in physical reality, even for, say, an AI giving advice. If it suggests something physically impossible, well, that's not very helpful, is it? Could even be dangerous.
Good point. So PHYBench aims to measure this. The title uses the word holistic. What does that signal?
Holistic suggests it's not just like one simple test. It implies they're trying to cover a lot of ground.
So multiple types of physical understanding.
Probably. Things like maybe predicting object movement or understanding material properties like what floats, what sinks, maybe even interpreting images, but focusing on the physical sense of the scene.
Okay, getting a full picture.
Trying to, a well-rounded assessment, not just poking at one small aspect.
So let's think about the implications here. We don't have the specific results from the paper in front of us, but just the fact that this benchmark exists and people are doing this evaluation, what does that tell us?
Well, it tells us the field recognizes this potential gap.
Right.
And thinking forward, if LLMs start scoring really well on something like PHYBench,
what does that mean?
It could mean they're developing a much deeper, more fundamental kind of intelligence, not just language mimics, but models that actually understand underlying principles of the world.
Which would open up, all sorts of applications.
Huge potential, yeah. More capable robotics, smarter assistants, maybe even new scientific discovery tools.
Okay, but flip side. What if they perform poorly? If PHYBench reveals significant weaknesses?
Then it clearly highlights where the current limitations are. It tells researchers, okay, our current methods, maybe just scaling up language data, isn't enough for this.
So it points the way for future research.
Precisely. It could mean needing different training data, maybe more video or simulation data, or perhaps entirely new model architectures are needed. It guides the next steps.
So PHYBench isn't just about grading the LLMs, it's a diagnostic tool.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, diagnosing strengths and, maybe more importantly, weaknesses in this critical area of physical understanding.
Which is fundamental for interacting with, our world.
Absolutely. You can't really have robust, general-purpose AI without some grasp of basic physics.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? If AI does get significantly better at understanding the physical world, how does that actually change things for us? For you listening.
What new technologies become possible? How does that affect daily life?
Yeah. And remember, this kind of cutting-edge research often pops up first on places like AlphaGuess.
That's right. So if this topic grabs you, you can often find the source papers and related work there to explore further. Worth checking out.
Definitely. So wrapping up this deep dive, the big takeaway is that evaluating how well LLMs grasp the physical world is crucial, and benchmarks like PHYBench are the tools being built to do just that.
It's about moving beyond just language.
Exactly. And it leaves us with that big question to ponder.
How might truly physically aware AI reshape our future? What possibilities or even challenges does that bring? Something to keep thinking about.